How we doing, guys? Psycho Steve here again, coming in, reporting live outside of Psycho Steve Stadium with your Week 4 recap. In our first featured matchup for the week, we had Team Capadlo versus Cleats and Cleavage. This was Big Sis versus Little Sis for the battle of King of the Covenances. With Psycho Steve beating Team Capadlo and Cleats and Cleavage beating Psycho Steve, Cleats and Cleavage could be the King of the Covenances throughout this season. I can't really say it was a tight matchup. Team Capadlo could be called Team Clapad LOL this week, scoring less than 100 points after their huge 160-point performance last week. Cleats and Cleavage came out on top with a huge score of 146, with Todd Gurley scoring 34 points. A big 30 burger. That's 2 30 burgers in a row for Todd Gurley. He should get a sponsorship from Smash Burger. She also had a big performance from Russell Wilson with 26 points and DeAndre Hopkins with 26 points as well. Cleats and Cleavage came out 146 to 98 on top. Cleats and Cleavage improving their record to 3-1. And Team Capadlo falling to 2-2. In our next matchup, we had the Bohemia Bombers versus LI Golden Taint. Bohemia Bombers looking for their first win, and LI Golden Taint looking to scrap together some points after a poor performance from last week. Bohemia Bombers got off to a good start with Leonard Fournette's 23 points. But the rest of his team put up a lackluster performance, mostly in the single digits, and that gave way to the LI Golden Taint's huge performance this week. After last week's poor performance, LI Golden Taint came out looking refreshed in Week 4. General Manager Trevor McNerney took the team out for Brazilian wax and an asshole bleaching. The Golden Taints came out looking shiny and showroom ready for Week 4. Putting up the highest score in the league after scoring the lowest in Week 3. I wish my Taint could recover that quick. Ezekiel Elliott looked hungry, showing off his stomach and his patented quote-unquote mealtime celebration, scoring 29 points. LI Golden Taint beat up Bohemia Bombers 169 to 93. Improving their record to 2-2, and Bohemia Bombers falling to 0-4. In our next matchup, it was another nail-biter. Team Mary, with Greg the Leg Zerline, scored 27 points. That's her kicker, folks. 27 points out of her kicker. She had a 30-plus point lead heading into Sunday night. Give her the Woodhead. Had a defense, a kicker, and I think a tight end, looking to get 30-something points to either beat or tie Team Mary, looking for a first win. And wouldn't you know it, the Legion of Boom came in huge with a fumble recovery for a touchdown, an interception for a touchdown, and 3 sacks for 22 points. And that was enough to tie Team Mary, who now has two ties on the year. Team Mary's record improves to 0-2-2, and Give Her the Woodhead goes to 1-2-1 on the year. It's unfortunate for Team Mary. She's unlucky. She has the third most points for in the league, and the second most points against in the league. So when you're coming up against Team Mary, look out. She can score them, but she's just getting unlucky and she's getting scored against. Her first win is sure to happen soon enough. Next up, we have Fire Goodell versus We Are WW Slaves. WW Slaves came in at 1-2, and Fire Goodell, as we all know, is undefeated at 3-0. WW Slaves was looking to take down Fire Goodell, and it looked like it might just happen coming into Monday night. WW Slaves finally started Odell Beckham Jr., scoring 16 points. Amir Abdullah with 19 points. Aaron Rodgers with 23. And it looked like this was going to be enough heading into Monday night with only Kareem Hunt playing for Fire Goodell. But it sounds like I'm a broken fucking record because once again Kareem Hunt scores enough points to carry Fire Goodell to yet another victory. Who is going to be the first person to beat Fire Goodell? Fire Goodell comes out on top 131 to 119 and improves his record to 4-0. And we are WW Slaves falls to 1-3 on the year. Please somebody take down Fire Goodell. In our next matchup, we have another undefeated team, Team Limp, taking on Suffolk Psycho Steve. Team Limp coming in at 3-0, and Suffolk Psycho Steve coming in at 1-2. This one was a true nail biter. Suffolk Psycho Steve pulled ahead 133 to 130 in the final play of the Arizona 49ers game with a Carson Palmer TD to Larry Fitzgerald. Suffolk Psycho Steve was so excited he thought he completed the upset until he looked at the matchup and saw that Jordan Reed was in the lineup for Team Limp and was questionable. This would have put Team Limp in a pretty difficult situation to possibly drop Jordan Reed, one of the top 5 tight ends in the league, for an alternative Vernon Davis. But luckily for Team Limp, it looks like they limped into another win, coming out on top with Jordan Reed's 5 points, 135 to 133 over Suffolk Psycho Steve. Who's going to be the first person to beat Team Limp? We all know he's beatable because Suffolk Psycho Steve left Steven Goskowski on the bench with 16 points, which could have definitely been the difference in this 135 to 133 victory for Team Limp, who improves his record to 4-0, and Suffolk Psycho Steve falls to 1-3 on the year. And in our last matchup, there wasn't too many fireworks in this one. It was Travis Tree Trunk versus Team Pagan, which looks like both their teams were kind of sleeping on the week. Travis Tree Trunk put up a decent number at 116, but for his average, his team was having an off week. He came in at 1-1-1, and Team Pagan came in at 2-1. 2 weeks in a row, Terrence West putting up a big 0 points for Team Pagan. It looks like for Team Pagan, Terrence West is best left on the bench. She still has steady production out of Duke Johnson Jr. for 2 weeks in a row, scoring 20 points plus, but that wasn't enough in this one, and the grass grew a little higher for Travis Tree Trunk, beating Team Pagan 116 to 93. That's it for our Week 4 recap. Congrats to everybody who won. Best of luck next week for everybody who lost. Please keep an eye out for your biggest disappointments and your biggest performances out of Week 4. I'll see you guys next week.